Hello there, it's me, Joey. It's a while, maybe twice or three times a year I do one of these videos where I actually just talk to the camera. It's a big one. It's my 25th birthday today, and I'm going to talk about that and what that means for me. It's going to be a bit of a heavy episode, but we're going to do something a bit different. Let me find the webcam one. There we go. Lower this down here. Oh yeah. 16 by 9 webcam. The dream. I'm going to have a game in the background so you can actually just listen to what's going on. And I've got music on just because it alleviates some of the noise, or the lack of noise. So it could be like half an hour long of me just talking about me, which I don't do that often, at least not on video, but it's worth talking about. So, I'm 25. Why is that significant to me? Mainly because I didn't know when I was growing up that I'd be like alive at 25. It might sound a bit like melodramatic, but I've been through quite a lot of just like bad shit. Not anything that's like fucked me over or anything. It's just something that I think about sometimes. I'm like, God, I really did just go through a period of time where I was like desperately unhappy and everything was going wrong that could go wrong. I'm going to play Donkey Kong Country 2 because it's like the best game of all times. Is the sound on 0? No, it should be on 0. Okay, so I'm going to set this up real quick. 1 second. Window capture snares. Yes, there we go. Look at that. You can even line it up with the camera. Hell yeah. Now I'm a professional video game player. Okay. So you can have something to watch while I talk. Yeah, so I didn't know that I was going to be around at 25. When I was like 11 or 12, I was like in a very bad way, to the point where I was pretty sure that there was just like nothing I could do to fix it. And this was, well, when was I 12? 13 years ago. It was like 2006, something like that. I'm just looking at the clock. 2006, and there was a lot of stuff going on that I just didn't really know much about. How to live like a normal person, what the point of doing all the school was if I knew that I didn't really want to go to work and I didn't feel comfortable doing it. Still don't to a large degree, but this is like 2006, so this is not a new thing. Even before I'd started YouTube, I knew I had these feelings about it. I knew that I didn't know what was going to happen. The reason my 25 was a number specifically in my head was because I have an older brother and a younger brother. My older brother is like 8 years older than me. My younger brother is like 2 years younger than me. And my older brother was always, he tried his best, but he wasn't that particularly gifted in school. Not because he wasn't intelligent, but because he didn't try very hard. He'll tell you himself. He messed about a lot. Don't think he got into the wrong crowd or anything, just didn't really communicate well with people. But he still managed to go to work and put in his time. He'd work at bars and whatever else he had to do to get money, and then he moved out when he was 25. And so I thought to myself as a child, I was like, 16, 17 at the time, if by the time I'm 25 I haven't got all of that stuff sorted out, then I've failed. I've somehow messed it up real badly, and I don't know how to fix it. I don't know if I still feel that way particularly, because I'm 25 and here I am, still exactly in the same place I was when I was 12 or 13. Not a lot of money, no prospects of moving out anytime soon, definitely no job, partly out of choice, partly out of things, well, everything's within my control, but partly within things that I don't feel like are in my control, even if they are. And so we've got this situation where I don't really know what to do. I sat here, as I knew I was turning 25, I sat until like 3 in the morning, just like, I would consider it depressed, not really knowing what to do. I didn't break down or anything, but I just felt kind of defeated in a way. And that's not to say that everything has been bad up to this point, because I want to talk about the positives as well. In my life I've been a very negative person to the point where I ignore a lot of the positives that exist. Not because they don't exist, but because my brain goes, they're not important. So let's talk about some of the positives that have happened. The year 2009. Okay. How old was I in 2009? Like 15? I think I was on YouTube before then, but I started making videos properly in 2009. I was like playing Mario Kart, playing Super Tio World. Those are the days that I remember quite fondly because I was, I was good at school. I was, not the most intelligent person in the world. I'll get that DK coin, never. It's alright. I was never the most intelligent person, but I was fairly clever. I was always in the top classes and doing the right things and messing around with the right people and not the wrong people. But generally, you had a lot of stuff going on that I wasn't too happy with. The people I was talking to. Well, what have I just done? Oh, I found a shortcut by mistake. Well, fine. I don't think I've ever found that barrel on purpose. Yeah, so there's all this stuff going on, and nothing was. Oh, it was never like physically hit or anything, but just having people to talk to. I was always quite lonely. Didn't really have a lot of friends. Not that I would consider true friends. Anyway, I still don't really have people I consider true friends besides maybe like 2 or 3 people. And it was just a pretty lonely existence. So having something I could just do, considering back then especially, games was like all I knew, right? I'd play games because that's what I enjoyed doing, but there was nothing else. And it's hard when you're trying to make something more like a job when it's literally all you know. So when your life revolves around it and you then go, oh well, now I've got to be entertaining, now I've got to be interesting. At the same time, it's a lot of, well, it's not necessarily a lot of pressure because a lot of people think doing this is so difficult. At least not for me, it's not that difficult. And compared to doing something like, I don't know, a fireman or a doctor or something that is real stress, something that, lives on the line, this is nothing. I wouldn't go so far to say it's not a real job because it can certainly have the stresses and taxes of a real job. But when it comes to the severity of the job, what was I doing? It's not that severe. But I would say that I do think about YouTube a lot. And not all of it's always positive. The fact that I don't really know how to build an audience. I don't know how to network, being such an antisocial person as I've always been. Not because I hate people, but because I don't know how to interact with people in what I would consider a normal / regular way. Makes it so that it's quite difficult to express to people what it is that's like not wrong with me. I keep saying, keep trying to clarify my statements because I want to make sure that I'm saying the things that I actually mean and not get misconstrued. The things that I would consider to be an abnormality or not within the norm of society. So things like just being like an absolute isolationist, essentially a hermit. There's no other word for it. I don't really go outside. I do volunteering work once every week. That's literally about it. And it's fine, and it makes people happy, and I'm helping other people make their lives better, which is good. But it doesn't give me a sense of super satisfaction that I'm sure maybe it's supposed to. I don't know. But I do it because it's something to do, and I feel like at least compared to doing like an office job for someone who doesn't care if you're there or not, it does serve a purpose, which is good. And I'm grateful to be given the chance to do it. I mean, I do it for free because obviously it's a volunteering position, but I would rather do it for free than for money, if that makes sense. As soon as money gets involved, I feel like, at least for me, it loses a lot of its genuine feeling. You could argue, well, you're supposed to get paid for your work. If you work hard, you deserve it. Do I? I don't know about that. But yeah, I take it as it comes. I do it as it comes. Now, to talk specifically about YouTube, because this is just a big roundup of... I reflect on my birthdays about what's going on and how I'm feeling and everything. YouTube specifically, it's going fine. In terms of the process, when I first started, maybe was it 2 or 3 years ago now? I think I'm in year 3 or 4 of doing this full time now, which is weird. Or doing this, like making a video every day. Yeah, back in the old days when I first started, I had a huge amount of anxiety about what to play and whether it was going to be interesting, whether anyone would watch, and what was going on. And certain elements of that anxiety still exist because, you know, my viewership is not what you would consider by any metric high, and that doesn't necessarily matter in terms of how I feel about it. It doesn't like ruin the thing for me. But in terms of if you wanted to do this for a quote unquote career, if you want to say that, it's not what I'd say, but shit. Egg RNG is best RNG. The thing about doing this for a career is you need to have viewership, you need to have likes and comments and do what the algorithm wants you to do and portray yourself in a certain way and start talking to loads of people even if you don't want to, and it feels so disingenuous, you know. I hoped, and maybe this can still happen, but it feels more and more unlikely as time goes on, that me just doing what I do and being who I am was enough, and not being someone who overhypes everything and gets all freaked out and starts screaming like a child about what I'm playing, and just being who I am was gonna be interesting to people. But maybe we are in a world where someone like me can't exist in this space and succeed because there's just so much choice, and there are so many very talented and gifted people both here in Twitch and other websites that I was never going to succeed. But if by the end of the year I decide that I can't really continue it, I'd like to go out knowing that there was not a lot more that I could have done besides putting at least things I couldn't have done that aligned with my principles, which is making a video every day. Now, at least more recently, making 2 videos every day, 2 different series going at once to try and make it so that someone has something they want to watch, even if it's not both things. And you have 2 videos every day, and you know, they'll get 1 or 2 views each, and if I start a new series I might get 4 or 5, which is good. But the way that the systems work is that unless you're pulling in hundreds, if not thousands of views, or you stream, what are you going to do? There's not a lot to gain from doing it, and it annoys me more than you care to know, because I really thought, maybe in a naive way, but in a true way, that being consistent would be enough. That me going, okay, well, in the past, and I don't want this to be like, oh, I used to get thousands of views. When I first started in 2009, 2010, and even a little bit later with gameplay videos like Mickey Speedway and things, I check the analytics sometimes. I don't like to dwell on it because it's sad, but I look at it, and those videos get like maybe 100 views every week still. And I don't know what is different about those to what I'm doing now, and maybe that's the problem, that nothing is different. I'm doing the exact same thing. Maybe it's just the way that my brain works, but I thought that was a good thing, to not mix it up, to not change your manner of being to suit what the system wants you to be, but rather be who you actually are. But it might be clear that that's not the case, and I'd rather stop entirely than be someone I'm not. Because if I have to start going, oh yeah, hit that like button, yeah, subscribe to the video all the time, because that's how people won't do it if you don't tell them to. It seems a bit weird. I trust people more than that. I have a higher level of respect for people to think they know how it works. They'll do it if they want to, and if they don't, then I'm the one doing something wrong, not the other way around. And at some point, you've got to admit defeat in a way and go, this isn't working for me. Why is it not working? Is the problem not the content, but simply the person making the content is the problem? It's perfectly possible that I am the element of my own destruction, and you can't really fix yourself unless you're going to just pretend to be someone you're not, which I'm not hugely about. But I try not to think about it too much. I try just instead, keep your chin up, keep going forward, keep making videos, keep giving the same energy, keep talking about the same things. Just try, don't become a meme. Just be who you are. Unfortunately, who I am is someone who does think about this stuff a lot and does worry. I'm a worrier. I worry a lot about all sorts of different things. I worry about whether I'm going to be interesting, whether I'm ever going to get anywhere with this, whether it's even worth trying to get anywhere with it. Whether it's even worth trying to get anywhere with this. But those thoughts, if you allow them to exist, just like overtake everything. That's what I was supposed to do. So you don't have to think about it that way, because if you do, you just never sleep. You just think about it all the time. And I'm sure there are lots of people out there who are starting to become something on Twitch or YouTube, and this is what permeates their thoughts. They're like, oh god, what am I doing? If they have a bad month or a bad week or whatever, they start questioning what's going on. I don't have that element. Maybe I would if I was more popular. Probably I would have that, because I am a paranoid person and do worry about a lot of this stuff, and worry about things that are both within my control but also just absolutely not in my control at all. And why would I worry about it? Because I can't make people watch the videos if they don't want to. And if it's a case of the videos are good but no one knows they exist, there is no cheat sheet for how to get people to watch your videos besides have, clickbait thumbnails and titles, which I don't want to do. And if I ever did, would feel much worse than if I just had no audience. Some people, they play the game. I have utmost respect for people who decide, you know what, to win this game, I've got to play it the way the game is meant to be played, which is you put your thumbnails in, you put your titles in, you put your, a scantily clad anime girl on the video, and it works. I just can't do it. It doesn't work for me. And that doesn't mean I'm better than anyone else. It just means I don't want to do that. I want to stick to what makes me me, and that is trying to play games and not being horrible at them. Sometimes I succeed, sometimes I fail. And then just putting out content that makes sense to me. Just putting out content that makes me happy, or that I'm not necessarily super happy with, but it's the best I can do. So I don't want to dwell on the fact that there are channels that get millions of subscribers and I don't know what I'm doing that is so vastly different to them, besides the things like I mentioned that are my fault. Like, this is just, you're not as interesting as them. That's fine. There isn't a lot I can do about that, but that is the truth. There are people who have much more interesting lives, people who have much more interesting personas, and can turn it on for the camera and can do what they need to do every day. And what I can do every day, and I am relatively impressed with myself, or pleased, even though it's not hard, is, I can turn it on, not like a personality change, but like the ability to just sit down here for 3-4 hours a day and just record. I can do it every day, and if I got to the position where I had to do it every day, I could do it every day. Good man. Yeah, and I'm quite happy with my ability to just churn and grind and do what I need to do. Now, comes onto the YouTube versus Twitch discussion. I'm sort of stepping away from me for a minute, but I'll come back to me specifically. The Twitch versus YouTube discussion is that YouTube is not the place to be, generally in the consensus right now, if you want to succeed playing video games on the internet. Twitch is like the de facto zone, but there are many reasons why I choose personally not to go to Twitch. Again, they are mostly reasons about me, not reasons about the service. The service is fine as far as I know. It's more about what I bring to the platform, which is not a lot. The ability for me in my mental state, because it's very important to do things that work for my mental state and not work against it, is that with YouTube, I can make a video, I can record the video, I can edit the video with the little amount of editing I do, but I do some, and then render it and upload it, and then it's gone. The video doesn't exist anymore. The ability to just say, well, the video's done now. I'm good now. There is nothing left for me to think about. I don't look at the viewership numbers. I don't look at the things. I look at the comments when Tio or whoever else, usually Tio, comments on the video, and I'll respond to it. But besides that, I'm not sitting here looking at the analytics all day. And even if I had 1,000 or 10,000 or 1,000,000 subscribers, I wouldn't be looking at the analytics all day because it drives you insane. You see that little percentage go down and you're like, oh god, what have I done differently this time? The truth is, even the biggest YouTubers in the world, they do nothing different between one video to the next, and this has massive viewership differences. Doing series on YouTube is a bad idea because by part 10 you've lost like half your audience through no fault of your own. They're just people don't want to be committed to that length of episodes. But I like long form content, and so you may think, Joey, then Twitch is perfect for long form content because you can do 4-hour streams every day, and that's people will sit there for the whole thing and watch it. Their audience is more prime to listen and pay attention for multiple hours a day. But if I was miserable doing it, you'd be able to tell. And I don't feel the burnout from YouTube that I do from Twitch. I feel burnt out on Twitch every time. Within a week of me doing Twitch, I feel like I don't want to do it anymore, because the sense that nobody is watching you is palpable on Twitch because it's live the whole time. You can always tell that nobody's there watching anything that you do. You can always see the viewership count be 0 if you can turn it off and not look at it, but then you can see that the chat's not talking and you wonder why that is. And I don't think I'm an obsessive or have an obsessive personality, but I do think I stress out and worry about a lot of things that don't really matter. So when it comes to Twitch, what I worry about is, oh god, if the viewership's 0, what do I need to do to engage with people and make them want to listen to me? The answer, as far as I know, is literally just go speak with other streamers of your relative size and collaborate and join audiences and, you know, essentially shill your shit. Which, again, it's fine for the people who want to do that. It's how the game's played, you do it. I can't network. I'm so antisocial, and it would feel very untrue. These people, maybe I'm just jaded, but these people aren't making real friends. You're making connections because the business side of your business tells you that that's what you need to do. That doesn't feel right, you know? It doesn't feel like the correct thing to do. To be like, well, I'm going to make these acquaintances because I have to, because I want to further myself. No, I want my content alone to be sufficient in making me grow, and if it isn't, then I've clearly done something wrong and don't deserve to be successful. And it's not nice to think about it in those terms, but I think it's the most fair. I don't want to make false friends and make people believe that I'm this personable, friendly guy, when, truth be told, I'm not. I'm just not that person. I'm an isolationist. I can make content in perpetuity right here in this room forever. I would do that. If my whole life revolved around sitting in this room making content all day, so long as enough people were interested in watching it, so that monetarily I could give my parents something so they don't have to worry about me when they're not around anymore, which is, they worry about me because I have no sustainability on my own. I would be completely fucked if I was on my own. I'm not going to pretend. Having the ability to just have something to say, yeah, well, I'm doing okay. No matter what, it wouldn't have to be a lot, just enough that I'm okay. And I wouldn't have to worry about it. And I could go to my mum and dad, you know what, I may not be moving out of the house anytime soon, but should the worst happen, I'm not going to be in dire straits or anything. I'll be fine. That would be enough for me. Now, how do I make that happen? I honestly do not know. I've thought of everything I can think of within my own remit of options I'm prepared to do, and it's coming up pretty short. The ability to be like, I don't want to go to leech other people's viewers. It feels wrong. I don't want to go make other people watch my shit if they don't want to. That feels bad and not the correct way to play it. But if you don't network with people, how are they going to know you exist? And that's the catch-22 I find myself in. I've been fortunate that, at least partially through word of mouth, I've gained subscribers over the year. and 2. But I think I went, and this is not to diminish the thing, but it's just to be real, because I feel like being honest, and honesty is the best way to be. Shit, I fucked up. I got the bananas though. I gained like from what, 100 to 120 or something over the 2 years, which is actually a growth of 20%. If I could grow 20% year on year, it wouldn't take that long to get successful, but it would take quite a long time. I would need to do like double every year, and even then it would be like 10 years before I saw any appreciable amount of subs. And I can wait that long, but I don't know that my parents and everyone else in my family can wait that long for me to do it. So there's going to have to be something that happens. I don't know what. It's going to have to be a stroke of luck, perhaps. Or finding some streamer or bigger YouTuber who likes my stuff and is willing to work with me, but also is understanding of my stance on it, and that I don't want to pretend that I'm someone's friend. I don't want to pretend that I'm this friendly person, because I'm not. Being honest is much more important to me than maintaining this false image of someone who doesn't exist. Not doing very well here, it's fine. Oh, that hit me, I forgot. It's, yeah, it's just a difficult balance to find. All I can really do, and all I can really say, is that so long as people watch, and literally, in the main, it is Tio who watches the videos, and I can't thank him enough, because he gets me motivated to keep going, because at least I know that he's watching, and he's been a supporter of me for a long time, and he doesn't have to do that. There's not like a blood pact or some shit forcing him. It's just really appreciated, or appreciative. I mean, grammar is hard. I'm appreciative of it, because it does motivate me to keep going. Even when it's like 1 view, 2 views, 3 views, the fact that someone is there and watching and comments on the video, so they clearly actually watched it. They didn't just like skim it and find the information they wanted and then said something about it. You know, like some comments, they just say what you said in the video back to you, and you're like, what? I know what I said. Yeah, it's just one of those things. Hello, sorry about that. I was otherwise called away because, like I said, it's my birthday. People are coming around to say happy birthday to me. I guess I'll end this episode, or this video here, by saying I am, and it might not seem it, but I am very grateful for what I do have. But I can't ignore the reality that at the current situation, it isn't sustainable, and we'll have to stop at some point. I will do whatever I can to make it so that doesn't happen. But all I can really do is keep putting out content and hoping for the best. But yeah, thanks for listening. Final thing I will say, because it's important, I might as well fight Cleaver while I talk about this, is that, you know, I would say my mental state is about as good as it was when I was about 12. It's some days it's a lot better, some days it's the same. Ow. But when I record, I do feel a lot better. I don't think about it. I'm simply in the moment trying to play the video game as best I can. And so I think it is actually quite a positive thing for me to do. It makes me feel, if not better, then at least not bad. And I'm grateful for that, because it's certainly a lot more positive than sitting here doing nothing, stressing out all the time. You know? I fucked up. I actually forget how you're supposed to dodge that without Dixie. It doesn't matter. Yeah, so I feel a lot better in general when I am on YouTube recording things, and so I'm grateful for that as well, and that YouTube hasn't just said, nope, no one watches your videos, you can't do it anymore, haha. So it's a positive thing. I just hoped for more, I guess, if I'm being sincere. because, you know, we always want more than we have. I just don't think it's too unrealistic to expect something to happen, you know? God damn it, every time. I'm sucking deep balls against Cleaver right now. I'll figure it out. Really? Really, bro? That's better. There we go. See ya. Yeah. I just wanted to say thanks for watching, and I will continue to put videos out as long as people watch them, but I can't sustain it forever. That's all there is to say about it, really. I don't want to be a doom and gloom merchant, but these things have a shelf life. If you know of people that may want to watch my stuff, tell them about it. I'm not going to force anyone though. It's not like there's an ultimatum or anything. It's all good. I'm going to slow down a bit because I need to wait for the cannonball to spawn. There we go. Bye. Here's to you and to another year of being alive. Cheers. Goodbye.